What's up, folks? Welcome back. Welcome back to Classics, the cinematic movie podcast that takes you back to the iconic films of 20 years ago, right here on the Big Three, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and iTunes. Broadcasting from the new studio. We have a new studio now. We finally came along in a big major way. I need to shave right now, but it's whatever.
We both need to shave right now.
I am your guy, Jay Alonso. With me, of course, is my dude.
David Danger Neff. What's going on, man?
I just said my dude, like...
My dude.
Like, my bro.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Like, it's no bro back shit in here.
Yeah, no. What's going on, man?
None, man. You know, I was, this past weekend, the boys from The Noise and myself, we took some time to kind of set up the studio.
New stew.
Yeah, we moved, we have this couch that, is actually a really nice couch.
It really is. Dave was really about to fall asleep one day, and he was like, "Dude, we got
to start recording right now.
I'm gonna like totally go to sleep."
Yeah, I don't sound the same like I do on the. This is my radio voice. Normally, I'm like a dictator more than anything. When we get the dick thing.
This is your radio voice. So what's going on? This is my radio voice thing. Coming up soon, Donny Hathaway in the late night hour, and of course
you're listening to 94.6 The Soul.
The Wave. It's always something like really like simple, like
The Wave. You're listening to 94.6 The Wave.
But it's really simple, like it's either The Wave or like
The Soul.
The soul. The consciousness. Shout out the truth, by the way. So how was the week?
Yeah, I mean, the weekend was busy. How about you?
It's definitely been busy. Locked in a new place, so we're prepping for that. Work's been cool. My daughter turned 12. I talked to her for a little while. She had a blast on her birthday.
We're getting old.
We're getting old. Like, damn, like, how do you feel like
you are 2/3 of the way through before she's like a full grown adult?
Yeah, let's not put no time on it. We can just let kind of what happens transpire. You know what I mean?
66% of the way.
But I can definitely tell you one thing though. When people see pictures of my kid, like they goes, "Oh my God, your daughter is she's gorgeous. How old is she?" Like she's 12. Oh, like what's the O about? Like, oh. You're in for a rude awakening. Like, fuck that. Like, no, dude. So, I love the fact, she's healthy. She thinks for herself. She's not one of those kids who's easily influenced by other things. So she's good to go. I think I did a pretty good job.
I think with my niece, cause my niece turns 9 next month. So for her, it's, there's a lot of really awesome things about her. And I love her brain. Like when she thinks, she's like really, really thinking about stuff. And that's just like who she is and what she does. The problem is she's lazy. But she's lazy on like, okay, for example, I'm now kind of coaching the softball team, and it takes like an extra little bit of effort for her to like get running and whatnot. And so everybody's like, oh, well, she should be on Ritalin and stuff like that. And it's like, no. She doesn't like need something to pep her up. She just needs to move. Like she doesn't need more.
Like suggest Ritalin immediately. Like, okay, so, hey, you can, no, let's drug her.
Right.
Well, dude, why we go to that and be like the first suggestion? Like,
right.
Ritalin?
Why not just have her eat better and have her be more active and shit like that, but nah. But that's her issue. Like she's just a little bit lazier than I want her to be. Like if she was more active, I would love everything about her. I do love everything about her. It's just like sometimes it's just like that. Like please move. Let's go. Hustle.
That's that good
range. The ball has gone past you. Why are you walking to it?
But Uncle, it's like, listen, man, like a real dude. Like, listen, Uncle, man, listen. I tried. I gave it my all. I'll do better next week. I promise next week. But just right now, nah.
No, she doesn't even give me promises like that.
Oh, she just say nah.
Nah, she's just, I don't know why I don't do this. I'm like, get your ass moving. Like, we gotta go. There's a game happening in like a month. You gotta be prepared. Like, we got to move.
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, hey, you know what? Listen, like she's gonna get it together. And
No, she won't.
okay, we'll just move on then.
No. I hear it. No, she will get together. You know, one thing I do like about it is that, you know, I have this new German Shepherd, and he's great. And what I love about him is that, like, he doesn't really care too much about protecting me because he knows I got me.
Right.
But when it comes to her, won't leave her side. When we were out in like the dog park, and she's just like walking around the dog park, refuses to interact with the other dogs, wants to make sure that she's okay. Like, no problem. I'm like, yeah, boy, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. Yeah, but that's a little inside my life.
Where are we? Oh, you know what? I'm not too sure if we haven't talked about it yet, but you know, I told you I'm actually watching the Best Picture nominees for the Oscars.
Right.
And so
the SAGs came out. That was
SAGs
really
did
nice.
come out,
Right.
so we kind of see where the momentum's going. You dig what I mean? But at the same time, I was able to catch up on a few things. So I saw Vice.
How'd you like it?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Definitely, this is Adam McKay's big fuck you to Dick Cheney. We get it. I mean, it can be more direct. Hey, Cheney, fuck you. Got it. Moving on. Yeah, I saw Vice. I rewatched Black Klansman, Black Panther. And I also watched,
Did you watch Roma?
not yet. And here's the reason why. I cannot get past the first 5 minutes without falling asleep. I'm telling you. And it's shot beautifully. And I like I like watching certain things that are shot in a certain way that just capture my attention. The whole, opening, scene, the opening credits with the whole, water situation.
Right, yeah.
I thought it was gorgeous the way it kind of ties itself together. But once we get into the actual shape of things, I just get tired and I just fall asleep.
Right.
I think it's the reading of the subtitles. It's like, all right, yeah, okay. So they're saying that, cool. I would really.
I'm here to watch the movie. I'm not here to read the movie.
I didn't come here to read the script. You know what I mean? I wanted to watch the movie. But at the same time, I'm definitely going to watch it. I can say this. It will very, very likely be the last one I watch before the Oscars.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, cause, I believe, I need the Favorites up next. No, I'm sorry. Bohemian Rhapsody will be up next. I'm probably not watching that tonight.
And then.
And they catch the Favorite sometime this weekend.
What, you have the Favorite?
Green
Book?
Oh, so I saw Green Book as well. Green Book is fantastic.
Okay.
Yes. Black Klansman, once again, fantastic movie. Even though you have this back and forth thing with Spike Lee right now.
Who, me?
I mean, not really a back and forth thing with Spike. He didn't say anything back to me.
I was like, did he? Did he call me out? Because I'm ready to go.
Oh, Spike.
No.
You're on the show, man. Let's go.
My back and forth is a little bit with like the rest of the Beat family and whatnot. And it's just like, it's just certain things about Spike. Look, the bottom line is that here's my true opinion about Spike Lee. I think he is a phenomenal director, and I actually really, 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 really enjoy his movies. There's something about him that just captivates. Mm-hmm. And some of it is a lot of like reflections upon society itself, and, you know, yada yada. You could color that whatever way it is. You know, there's really good points about it with gentrification, obviously, being kind of his main thing. But there's always been just something, just a little bit, where there's a small narrative or even a disdain for, it was like, it has to be absolutely 100% pro-black. I don't have a problem with that. By all means, that is something that's absolutely needed. But it's also pro-black and sometimes not pro-white whatsoever. So it's one of those things. So it's one of those things where it's like I'm really trying to support you, but, you know, when you turn around and you text the address of somebody because you thought that's where George Zimmerman lives out, and that person may have gotten their house raided or whatnot, come to find out it was the wrong address. There's a small narrative that's always anyways. Spike, hit me up. We can have a responsible conversation, and please prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, by all means, that's all I want to know. That's what I want to know. You know, do you like me? Yes or no?
Circle one. Just circle one.
But one thing about the SAGs that I thought was interesting was some momentum. All right, so some of the obvious momentum, like Mahershala Ali obviously winning, Rami Malek winning, that I can see really carrying over into the Oscars now. I think those are pretty set in stone in my eyes, right? The ones that really did surprise me was obviously Emily Blunt, who, you know, for A Quiet Place, and I've always thought A Quiet Place was very well acted on her behalf, but the fact that like it just went right back because Regina King wasn't nominated, the fact that it just straight up won over the other supporting actresses actually hurts more the supporting actresses than Regina King's non-nomination, in my opinion.
But she's still a lock, though. She's 100% still a lock for the Oscar.
I strongly believe so. The other one was obviously Best Picture. I probably had Black Panther in my bottom 3 of all those nominations, and with it winning at the SAGs was interesting. Didn't really expect that, but at the same token, you know, I want to see if that carries some momentum moving forward. Because the one thing I'm more worried about more than anything is that companies will find a way to buy an Oscar, you know. And if there's any company that could do that right now, Disney for sure has that power locked in.
You know, rewatching Black Panther the other day, I started getting this feeling because, you know, it won Best Picture at SAG.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And so rewatching it now, and then I started to kind of look up different articles surrounding the the movie itself, and then of course, you know, the chance of actually, you know, getting nominated and now the chance of it actually winning. I started thinking, with all the things that is kind of built up behind it, as far as like what's that headliner for the paper the next day in regards to the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? Like, seeing Roma win Best Picture, what is very, very likely going to win Best Foreign Film anyway, is one thing. But if it won Best Picture, like, okay, it won Best Picture, whatever. But and A Star Is Born, and that putting that in there, A Star Is Born, winning it will be the third remake of a movie that's been remade several times now. That wins Best Picture, so it's not exactly exciting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. There may be something there with tomorrow's headline reads.
It's
Black
all
Panther.
about Black Panther wins Best Picture.
Right.
Either that or Black Klansman, you know, for it to be, you know, Spike Lee's finally get his just due year. But as far as Black Panther taking home Best Picture, that's just the headline. We're talking about the first superhero movie to be nominated for Best Picture.
Right. And then winding up winning, you know.
And wins it. Not our race. It's simply a superhero, a Marvel movie, which we know eventually we'll get to that point. Well,
sure.
We'll win Best Picture. Absolutely. I think, I now believe in my heart of hearts, Black Panther could come in and like make a lot of people like, whoa, it actually won. Oh shit. You know, so that's the headline for Monday morning.
So it's kind of funny because, you know, we talked about our favorite movies of this. You know, a few weeks back we talked about the ending of 2018, our favorite movies of 2018, and Black Panther came up on number 8 for mine, and I think it came up as number 3 for yours.
Number 2 for mine. No, I'm lying. It's actually, you're right. It's number 3. Mission Impossible, Infinity War, then Black Panther.
Right. So it's one of those things where, again, it kind of begs the question a little bit. I think a lot of people look at Infinity War and just think how remarkable of a movie it is. So what would have happened if Disney backed that horse instead and try to push that and push that into the conversation? But the thing is that there's a difference between the two movies, obviously. Infinity War ends basically is the beginning of the end of a major storyline, whereas Black Klansman was like a celebration of its culture, essentially. You know, Yes, Black Panther. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Cause see, Black Klansman was this black dude,
Right.
man, who's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna join the KKK.
Yes,
Culture.
thank you. I'm wrong. Yes, Black Panther was a celebration of its culture and whatnot. So yeah, it had a good idea and good narrative. It's tough for me to be 100% behind this bandwagon of yes, Black Panther should win Best Picture nomination, especially when considering Black Klansman's in there also. And I do think that is definitely the better of those of between those two movies. I know they're different, but I enjoyed Black Klansman more than I enjoyed Black Panther. You know, so I don't know. Maybe it's just my opinion, though.
I'm telling you, I think
I'm telling you, Spike. You can reach out to me. We can have that conversation because I really enjoy products.
So you like me, but you don't like me,
Right.
So
I feel like I'm that. I feel like I'm that little kid that's like trying to pass him a note right now.
Like you my man's? What you ain't my man's? Nah,
be like, can I be adopted or no?
So okay, so as we get closer to Oscar nights, I still have to watch Roma. I have to watch A Star Is Born Again. I have to watch. I want to say that would be it. Oh, The Favorite.
Right.
That was my last, and Bohemian Rhapsody was my last 4 to watch.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but I'm committed. I do it every year.
I'm committed.
I do it
I'm
every
gonna do
year.
this.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stay focused.
You sound like a dude that's about to take on a weekend project with his girl.
Or like you go to the gym and like, no, I can do it.
I can do it. 5 a.m. I could be right in there.
6:45. I swear to God, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just shed these pounds and I didn't go.
Yeah. So before we get into this movie, actually, I have one more thing to bring up.
What's up?
Super Bowl. It's this weekend.
Super Bowl. Yes, that is this weekend. I honestly thought it was next weekend.
I could have swore it was also.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I was like, what do you mean it's this weekend? Like,
mind you, we were just saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put a bet in. Da, 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 da. Like, wait, Super Bowl.
It's this weekend?
It's on Sunday. Shit.
I'm like, couldn't you wait till I got paid?
Damn. So I gotta put the $10 aside. Go put this bet on, but I think it's gonna be a good game.
So, do you expect any real movie trailers to drop?
Good question. Damn. Okay, for me, I think we get a great full trailer for Lion King. That's coming.
Yep.
First full trailer, Lion King's coming. I would say
Either that or Aladdin.
Or Aladdin, or we may just get
Or
a legit
Dumbo.
teaser of Aladdin and a full trailer of Lion King.
And of Dumbo.
And of Dumbo as well. I think Disney's going to pull out those 3 for sure. And then as far as, I think we get another good in-game trailer for a Super Bowl as well.
I think the first in-game trailer should probably drop. I think they could drop the Far From Home trailer.
No, they just dropped it. That's long after.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Did they
that was recently.
No, I know they dropped it overseas. I didn't think they dropped it domestically.
The new Far From Home trailer?
Yeah. They did. I'm sorry.
We talked about it.
My brain's all over the place right now.
But that's as far as Disney Marvel goes. I'm gonna say for DC, I think we're gonna get a little teaser for the Joker.
Oh, and the thing is that everybody's talking about how good it's going to be, and I'm not there.
I am so nervous. I am so nervous.
They're like, man, we got Joaquin. I was like, right, you got Joaquin. Like you got to understand. Like, I've seen Joaquin in a lot of really good stuff. I've also seen him in not so good stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of all right, but I'm also gonna say. As far as DC goes, yeah, I'll say the Joker. I think we'll probably get a better Birds of Prey trailer outside of the little announcement that we got. Monday?
Right. I think we're going to see a Hobbs and Shaw trailer.
It would not shock me if we got a Hobbs and Shaw
Universal drops that one.
Yeah.
And Dark Phoenix. I think that's probably.
Is that still going?
That's coming out this year.
It's coming in.
It's coming in June.
I forgot all about that.
It has not tested well, but it's coming.
I forgot all about that. I'm like, that's still coming out? I forgot all about that shit.
Yep.
I also get this weird vibe. We'll get something for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Tarantino's thing.
See,
But he's not the Super Bowl type.
I know, and when you think about like these trailers that usually come out during this time, Warner Brothers usually sits it out. But I wonder if they are actually going to do that for Shazam.
Or one of the future projects. Shazam probably the most likely because it's coming. But you're right. Warner usually sits it out. Maybe Paramount's in there for sure.
I think. All right, if I had to honestly guess, like the three that's not anything like that related, Detective Pikachu.
Right.
I think that's probably in there. Godzilla.
We will be definitely due for a good Godzilla trailer.
God, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's like one of my most amped up movies this year. And I don't know. It Chapter 2.
It's not too early for that? I think we'll get an It trailer by
I think the teaser. I think for a 30-second spot teaser, I think it's perfect time to do it during Super Bowl. Where you can drop your $5 million.
I'll tell you another one as well, and I think Netflix will sneak in and give us a trailer for the new Eddie Murphy Dolomite movie.
That could be it.
That would definitely come. And I'm also looking for how dope would it be if we finally get the Irishman trailer? How dope would that be?
It'd be good.
Yes,
that'd be good.
See, so let us know out there, what are you looking for as far as, I think this is the first time, really, we don't know who's coming Sunday. Because normally, even leading up to Super Bowl, we kind of get
a general idea.
As far as
what Marvel movie
all right,
is.
So
right?
Marvel's going to put this one out. They've either confirmed it or it's been talked around.
I think the issue is that there's a lot that's dropping this year. And studios are going to have to find a way to compete for screen time. It's why it's like, even now, like upcoming for Valentine's Day, Alita Battle Angel.
Right.
Like that's getting some traction for it actually being incredibly good. Like a lot of people, like a lot of early reviews are saying, yeah, no, this could easily be the first blockbuster for 2019. And it's like, usually Valentine's Day movies don't do that well outside of Deadpool. So it's one of those things where it's like, could this be a new trend that kind of comes out? Because it's like, if you could win the box office leading into March, then you got all sorts of traction.
That is true. Forward. That is definitely true. Yeah, you're right. This is definitely the first time that we don't know what's being shown Super Bowl Sunday. Like usually, I've checked every variety, every website you could think of to at least see who's talking about what. There's nothing out there. Like, you don't know how much time Sony then bought. You don't know how much time Marvel bought. Like, we literally have to sit and watch the game to know what's coming.
Speaking of the game, let me just get your prediction. Who you got?
Oh, Rams. I'm going to take Rams by 3.
Rams by 3? Okay.
Rams by 3.
Okay. Yeah. I got the Patriots by 6. However, the last time the Rams won the Super Bowl was at the Georgia Dome in 1999. And this is being played in Mercedes-Benz in Georgia.
Going back.
And it's the Rams all over again. So could history repeat itself?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Most definitely.
Cool. Let's get into this movie, partner.
So, okay. So 2-minute drill. It's so hard to find questions for this movie because the movie's pretty much straight to the point. So, we'll do 2-minute drill and just bear with me if I sound like I'm struggling, because I am. 2-minute drill. You ready for 2-minute drill?
I am.
All right, let's get this thing going. 2-minute drill starts now. All right, who plays Detective Hicks?
Detective Hicks?
Detective Hicks.
Oh, it's the dude from Predator.
Does that dude have a name?
It's Duke something? I can never remember that guy's name.
Will we accept Duke? Yeah. I went for the producer to say something. Apparently, we could say Duke. His name is Bill Duke, actually.
Okay, Bill Duke. See, oh man.
Okay, but I guess we can let that rock. Go ahead.
All right. Who is responsible for selling the heroin to Porter's wife?
Valet. Frey Rodriguez character.
The person whose heroin it belonged to.
Oh, Justin Fairfax, James Goldberg. No, I'm wrong again. I get one last crack at this.
3, 2,
shit.
1.
Bronson.
No, it's
wrong.
Arthur Stedham.
David Paymer, the goofy dude. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've seen this movie, and with that being said, who plays Bronson?
Bronson is Chris Christopherson.
Correct.
All right. I like this. How much?
Because you're winning.
How much money did was Porter looking for?
Like 17 grand?
Nope. I'll give you one more guess.
20 grand.
No, 70.
70 grand.
That's right.
I thought it was like an abstract number. Like, oh, yeah, I'd be about 70 grand too.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, I'm losing horribly at this game right now. What does Porter do to get Stegman's bodyguard to take him to Stegman?
Oh, he smacks him across the head with the butt of his gun.
That is correct.
Basically.
Yep, that would be it. So I lost completely.
Is that 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's 2 minutes. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about,
Sweep!
yeah, I didn't even try. If you don't know what movie we're talking about, we're taking it back to 1999, of course, with the Mel Gibson Neo-Noir Payback. Original release date, February 5th, 1999. Shares opening weekend with Simply Irresistible. That's with Sarah Michelle Gellar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we're riding the Sarah Michelle Gellar star
Around this time, yeah, she's riding high. Production budget $50 million with a box office total of $161.6 million.
Give me that Rotten Tomatoes.
This is where it gets funny because the Rotten Tomatoes score is 54%.
For critics, and then it's like 68% for audiences.
I believe so.
And I have a small problem with that because I feel like this really continued on Mel Gibson's career quite a lot. As you'll see in the future, after so during the 1999, like he wraps up his character with Martin Riggs, right? Because that was in 1998. That was Lethal Weapon 4.
Right.
Never going back to that. Moving from 1999 until really Daddy's Home 2, until his meltdown, he was doing these revenge movies a lot. Right. And really they're all so similar to the prototypical character that the hero of the story, really not a good guy whatsoever.
Right.
But Porter's one of those guys that he knows exactly how far he wants to go in the game, which is why he always sets himself a certain limit. Because he has no problem dipping for several months before going back into it. But you could tell that he's incredibly smart, and is always thinking on his feet at the same time.
Right.
And we start this movie, it opens up with a shot of basically a doctor who you could tell is a mob doctor, because the first thing he does is he takes a swig of whiskey before then desanitizing the medical equipment and starts pulling out bullets from Porter, who is unconscious on his table.
Correct.
And Porter does the very typical thing that these crime noir movies always does, which is he begins to narrate himself, and is talking about, most people would say after you get shot a couple times, that's probably best to just pull back and just, be thankful for exactly what you have, and just keep a head down. And he says, obviously nobody has ever lied on their back alone, for 5 months. And it kind of does this like opening sequence, which it starts off with, you get the idea of exactly the kind of character that he is by first jumping over the rail to catch the train. Yeah. Now
To jump in with that one, I remember rewatching the opening, that opening scene, and you 100% know who you're dealing with. And I've always admired that opening scene because not too many movies do it anymore.
No, they try to give like a depth of character to it.
You really figure it out, you know?
No.
But this movie is straight to the point.
Within the first minute.
He avoids paying for anything. I mean, slipping. He is pickpocketing folks, buying new suits, eating lavish meals, and he's doing it like because he was just broke 10 minutes ago.
Right. And it's funny because it really starts at like minute number 2 and it goes all the way through minute number 8,
right?
Of this movie. And the reason why I say it that way is because this opening sequence, while it's not necessarily long, like it's just everything. Here's an example. Like he jumps over the subway rail. Then the first person he sees is this bum who's saying, help a Vietnam vet walk again. And he steals a couple dollars, and of course the bum stands on his feet and he's like, shut up, I just cured you. And then he walks into the diner and he makes sure that he pays the exact amount of the coffee, which is like, or whatever his food was, which was $2.98. And he makes sure he takes 2 pennies away from it. Then he robs this guy's credit card. And with that credit card, he buys the 3 watches. He buys a suit. With those watches, he turns that into $900 cash, or really $500 cash in a Magnum from a pawn shop. Then he goes and he has a steak. He goes and he has like a steak dinner, and the guy's like, "This card was just canceled." He's like, "That's impossible. Do it again." And it's just like the seriousness to the space. And it's like it's almost like you really get you don't really need to know the past of this character. I don't need to know anything about a prequel of this character or whatnot. I can say this. He's a hustler. He's a thief. But he knows exactly who he is, but he knows exactly who he is. And I love it. So it cuts to a scene. It cuts to the next scene where we see a woman walking, to her door, and, Porter is, kind of hiding in the alleyway, and she's clearly high out of her mind.
Right. And with that character, well, we'll get that in a second.
So she opens the door and she's high out of her mind. She opens her apartment door and closes it, and he kicks down the door, which knocks her down, and proceeds to like search the apartment and make sure that there's nobody else in there. And you come to find out that this is his wife, or what would soon be his ex-wife, and she thought that he was dead all this time.
Right.
And he wants to get her cleaned up because she could tell that something was off, takes a shower, and she winds up taking a hit of heroin and winds up dying, winds up ODing, basically in this. And this is where we get the backstory of how we got to this character at this point, where you come to find out, first of all, I usually hate flashback scenes, but this was like a well-taken time flashback scene, if it is, where Porter is working for what's known as the Syndicate at the time. And they go and he's working with another guy named Val Resnick. Val
Resnick is somebody you just cannot wait to punch in the face.
Oh man. He's an awful person. Slimy. There's nothing about him. There's nothing redeemable about Val,
nothing at all. And even with Mel Gibson's character, they present his character to be like, dude, I don't like you at all.
Right.
I know
I wouldn't ever hang around Porter.
No, ever.
No, never.
He'll get you killed. But Val?
No, fuck that guy.
Dude, no. Like the way he presents himself to be like just this, I can't wait to double cross you. He just presents that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Right. Why would you even focus on somebody like that?
Right. So what winds up happening is there's this case because Val owes the Syndicate some money. He owes them about $130,000, and his belief was that in this briefcase that these Asians basically have, that it has somewhere in the ballpark range of like $350,000 to $500,000, and that they were going to split that down evenly, and figure out the way that they were with their money.
Right.
And one of the things that is recognized because these guys enter in a car is that Porter says, "Did you notice one thing?" And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Those guys weren't wearing the seatbelt." The next day shows him driving down the same alley, but Porter and Val are in there, and you don't really know what's going on, but they're about to crash head on, and Porter straight up puts a mouth guard, like right in his mouth. And there's this hilarious moment where like Val's realizing exactly what Porter's getting ready to do. And he tries to cover his mouth with a handkerchief. He's like, ah, and they crash into each other, of course. They clip off everything. They act like whatever, but come to find out, briefcase only has $130,000 in there.
Right. Now, to go back to that head-on collision part, it shot me out of my seat. I forgot all about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, when he notices the whole seatbelt thing, I figure it was going to be something traffic related that you're going to do.
Right. It makes sense.
But as he's driving and he's like speeding, I'm thinking, like, so one of these cars is going to stop and go the other way.
Right.
They're going.
Right. Exactly.
Going at it, right? And so by the time he actually pulls out the mouth guard, I was saying, they're going to do a fucking head-on crash.
Right. Exactly.
Easily. And then, of course, with Val doing that, grabbing the handkerchief thing.
Yeah, I couldn't stop busting up at work when I was watching this. I couldn't stop laughing.
These dudes are still driving. You see this girl heading your way. They're like, well, fuck it, you want to go? Let's go.
Right, exactly. But of course, they're not thinking because they don't have their seatbelts on.
Exactly. So when they crash, Val gets out and he just begins to like beat up the dude in the front passenger side, just really for the fuck of it.
Right, for the fun of it.
Right.
There's no point to this anymore. So what happens is that they go into this garage. Keep in mind, this is still a flashback, everybody. So they go into this garage, and what winds up happening is they open up the briefcase, and the briefcase only has $140,000 in there. So they split it in half, 70 each. But of course, Val's pissed off because he still owes money to the Syndicate, and it looks like he's getting ready to double cross him, but then he's like, "What? I'm cool. And come to find out, it's Porter's wife who winds up double crossing him, shooting him twice in the back, and is working with Val at the same time. And the reason why is there was a photo that was taken of Porter was also a driver for a well-known prostitute, and it looked like they were kind of hooking up as well. Now we get to present day.
Let's talk about Deborah Kara Unger for a second. Good actress.
Yeah, but she's not really given much here.
No, but I feel like I'm kind of scarred of her with this movie because really this is like the first time I've seen her in a movie.
Really?
No, I mean not ever, but like thinking back to her,
the game,
her starting moments.
Right.
She's always had that heroin addict
feel
to her. You know. Can I say that? I can say that, right?
I mean, I've been talking shit to Spike Lee all
long.
Like, so yeah, you
look kind of cracky. You look kind of cracky. That's what I'm gonna say. But I've not seen her in a whole bunch of things, but I just know that she just gives off that vibe. She just does, Now picking up where you did leave off, Porter does he tracks down Lynn. At this point, we now know has become a prostitute.
Right.
And after seeing how low she's sunk, Porter he takes pity on her.
I mean, a little bit, and then after the flashback's over, she's already dead from the heroin overdose. Mm-hmm. So the next thing that basically happens, somebody knocks on the door the next morning, and it's this kid, who
valet.
Yeah, who's whatever. And come to find out that he's holding like $2,000 in cash and a bump of heroin on him as well, as if he was basically going to give it to her, as payment and whatnot.
Right.
And Porter winds up ripping out like his nose ring, and tries to figure out what's the first name that's going to happen. And that's a lot of what this movie is. Who's the next person in line that's going to wind up happening? Who you get to meet. And the name that drops is Arthur Stegman. Stegman.
Yeah.
So he goes to Stegman's place. Come to find out there's a couple crooked cops in there. One of them played by Bill Duke.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they kind of went in on the action of what's going on. Stegman is outside contact for them when they drop the name Val Resnick, and this is when we get the notion that Val Resnick figures out that Porter's basically alive,
right,
at this point. So we're going to fast forward a little bit because real quick, Val Resnick is super slimy. He hires a prostitute, Lucy Liu in this case, to basically be a dominatrix in this movie. And let me say this. I love Lucy Liu. Like I have, like I have a major crush on her. I've always had a major crush on her. But in this movie, it is so like unlike her in this entire movie because she's just so, I mean, she's a dominatrix, you know, she kind of has this thing. They're like throwing punches at each other. Like it's nothing. I mean, those are haymakers they are throwing. It's like she hits him in like the stomach and he doubles over. And I'm like, that shit's gotta like fucking hurt, you know, like, and she's all like trying to like work and whatnot. But we fast forward a little bit and Porter meets up with Maria Bello. His old girlfriend that he used to basically drive around.
Right.
And there's a hint of the relationship that was basically there. And any sort of help that can basically happen between them would be much appreciated. But of course, she's working with the Syndicate, now known as the Outfit.
I don't get, well, here's the thing.
The Syndicate just seems so, it seems.
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, so.
Like the Syndicate is one of those names that's just like it seems like an evil. Look, if I walk into a retail store that's named The Syndicate, I'm pretty sure my credit card's going to get stolen. But the Outfit is such a downgrade from
Thank you. I'm like, the Syndicate is cliche as fuck.
Why the fuck didn't you just call it the Legion of fucking Doom? You know?
Bad Guys Inc.
Right.
Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Even Mr. Robot does that shit by naming the main company Evil Inc. Like, give me...
So what do? They do evil shit.
They do evil shit. Is exactly what they do.
Oh my God. So, all right. So, in my opinion, the Outfit is not a major bump up from... that's not a bump up at all.
No, it's not.
But in the Outfit, we have Bronson.
Right.
Played by
Christopherson.
Oh, I know him as Whistler.
Yeah, of course. And we know him from a couple other things, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I love the interaction with him, Porter, and Colburn's character.
Right.
I remember being younger and sneaking and catching this exact scene. And I'll probably fast forward a little bit, but
yeah,
I remember
jumping.
I remember like sneaking in and catching this exact scene in the movie theater when I was much younger. And I believe it was also a trailer shot in which Porter shoots Colburn's briefcase.
Right, yeah.
While on the phone with Christopherson.
Yeah, Mr. Fairfax.
Justin Fairfax.
Right.
Asking for his money. He goes, my money, yes or no? He goes, no. Just shoots the briefcase. Like,
right.
Bruh. I thought that shit was so, it was just gangster to me. You know what I'm saying?
So once we figure out this whole Resnick deal, because the entire idea is that somebody has to pay Porter the money. Resnick kind of comes in, and this is where, yeah, I have to back up a little bit with the story because there's two versions of Payback. There's the theatrical version, and then there's the director's cut. And of the two, the theatrical version is 100 times better than the director's cut. The director's cut, like, ending made, like, no sense. It had nothing to do with Chris Christopherson's character is completely cut in the end. And what pisses me off is the only way to tell if you have the director's cut or if you have the theatrical is you get the scene finally where Maria Bello, Porter, and Val Resnick basically storms the apartment, knowing where she's in, opens the door, and Maria Bello's character dog attacks him, who's also named Porter, by the way. And if the dog lives, you have the theatrical version, which is the better version. If the dog dies, then you have the director's cut, and you might as well turn it off right there because you're going to get pissed off by the end of this movie. Because it's just one thing after another. The entire time, Porter is setting up literally everybody just to find a way to get paid his money. And mind you, he only wants the $70,000. You know, he doesn't want the 130 that people keep mentioning. It's like his code. It's what he was owed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
he even gets pissed off a few times when they say, I thought I was 130. It's $70,000 fucking dollars.
Right,
That's
exactly. And what winds up happening is Resnick gets killed. He finds a way into the outfit, and the first person he meets is Mr. Carter, right? And Mr. Carter basically says, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm not the one that can get you this money." Gives a call to Mr. Bronson. Mr. Bronson during this time is presenting his son Johnny with a birthday gift, which just so happens to be a brand new Ferrari, and mentions how he has tickets to the big fight tonight. So once Mr. Bronson gets on and Porter once again says, "Is this guy going to give me my money? Yes or no?" He's like, "No, I'm calling your bluff." He straight up shoots Mr. Carter.
Yeah,
like nobody's business. And then continues on, figures out from a diary, where Mr. Fairfax is. And this is where he really starts getting a lot of people. One of the processes that he did was he knew that he was likely to be targeted. So in his apartment, they actually bugged his bed to blow up by calling the phone. That was what the trigger basically was. Right. So he sees Fairfax. He doesn't kill Fairfax. He does shoot the briefcase. But in the process, he has stolen one of the cops' badges in doing so. And using the same magnum, he basically frames both cops, knowing that they're crooked, to internal affairs. So they're taken away and they're out of the picture. Meanwhile, with Stegman's character, he tries to catch a cab, but knowing that Stegman's there, steals his gun. The Asian Syndicate, who was looking for this money this entire time, basically shoots up Stegman in the process, and Porter escapes and kills everybody in that Asian Syndicate outside of Lucy Liu. And then we finally get to that point where we get the fateful meeting between Bronson, Fairfax, and Porter. They torture Porter a little bit, breaking 2 of his toes.
Now, wait a minute. Do we touch on the kidnapping?
Which one? The kidnapping of Johnny?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to let you talk about that.
Oh. Am I going too fast?
No. That's all you. That would be next.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So in the process, one of the reasons why he is tortured in the first place is because little Johnny is kidnapped.
There we go. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm missing the key scene here. Okay, so the kidnapping of Johnny with the aid of Rosie, he does kidnap Bronson's son.
Who's Maria Bella's character?
Maria Bella's character. He does kidnap Johnny. Which I thought was, it really does put Rosie into that chick era, because she's down to ride.
Oh yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You just kidnapped the whole grown ass man, and you just, was he like 19?
The dude, yeah, he must have been like 18 or 19.
Yeah, right. And you're just down for this kidnapping. So you are definitely riding down that chick lane for me for sure.
Right.
So the arrangement for Hicks and Leary, Bill Duke, and the other character, which I can't think of his actual name, but to be busted by their own colleagues in the NIA by planting Leary's fingerprints on the gun that Porter used to kill Resnick.
Right.
Like I said. And so, leading up to that, don't we go back to that same situation where he's already at the outfit getting tortured?
No, because they've already kidnapped him, and then it goes into the tortured scene. Because the idea is that they're basically going to lead him to the location where Johnny basically is.
So how did you feel about the actual kidnapping?
I thought it was hilarious.
It was beneficial.
Because like Johnny's like trying to get into it, and she's like, "Relax, let the professional take the work," and straight up like handcuffs him to whatever. And the best part about that is that she just like goes to the other side of the vehicle, just kind of like leaves him there. He's all like, "Hello," and she's like, "Shh," you're not coming home. You're not coming home tonight or whatnot. And, of course, what winds up happening is Porter, who is stuck in the trunk, finds a way to escape out of the trunk as Bronson Fairfax and a goon basically walks up into Porter's apartment where obviously the bomb mattress is still kind of going on. Mm-hmm. And he calls a phone. Apartment blows up. And that's pretty much how it ends. It ends with the idea that Porter will stop shooting people. Porter will stop shooting people as long as Rosie stops being a hoe, basically, and stops working the streets, basically. And he ends the line with, "I guess we aim high." You know, and that's Payback.
So how do you feel about Payback? 54%. Is it fair?
No. I think it's too low. I think Payback's one of those movies that, like, because of how fast it goes, it's still interesting. I think Mel Gibson's character is entertaining, to say the least. Maybe not somebody that you like actively root for, but you like seeing him kind of lead everybody around and try to, you know, figure things out. And the best part about it is that, like, the idea of Porter's character would actually probably live on several spiritual sequels starring Mel Gibson, you know, and one of the most prominent ones is Get the Gringo.
Yeah, we talked about this before we actually went on air. It's kind of weird how it has this weird comparison to Get the Gringo. It's like a spiritual sequel. I
mean, a little bit. Like, Get the Gringo kind of has a little bit similar of a premise, except this time he has a lot more money and winds up going to, like, a Mexican prison. And this Mexican prison, like everything's just kind of, like, out in the open. You can bring your family in and whatnot. And he basically has to outsmart everybody in it once again. And he does. Once again, and he's kind of the same asshole-ish way that he is in that movie and winds up getting the money, and in some ways looks like he may ride off into the sunset. Otherwise, you kind of figure that he's just going to do his thing for a little while and then, you know, bounce. By the way, Jack Connelly was the other guy. Was the other
That's
detective.
the other guy. Because Bill Duke has that presence. I'm like, you're not an attractive man. But, you know, you're
I would not call what you would say a handsome man.
I'm just like, you're there. You're a very strong presence. But let's get to some...
Jack Connelly's been in some things, man.
Oh, yeah. Like, definitely.
LA Confidential, he was the vice captain.
Yeah, he was getting paid by Warner Brothers a lot around these times.
Yeah, he sure was.
Who's getting you that guy at work?
Porter, easy. Mel Gibson, I think, does a remarkable job playing Porter. Porter is at least entertaining, and in some ways, you feel like you want to learn stuff from him, but at the same time, you know you don't want to hang around him for very long. You know, but you know he's relatively interesting. And he's a very smart guy.
That chicken work.
It's going to go to Rosie. Rosie, for the most part, was not exactly ride or die at that time, until the moment that she realizes that things were not going to work out in the sense that of where it was going. So then she became ride or die.
All right, that full of work.
You know, Val Resnick. That one's pretty easy. Val has no brains. He has no balls. He hits women. He's slimy, and you could probably
chews the shit out of gum as well, which irks my fucking soul.
You know for a fact that dude either has an STD or hemorrhoids. It's one of those two.
Dude, you got the clap. I know you do. Like, the way you carry yourself. Fuck. Cut that out.
This is one of those movies that's incredibly tight. You know, kind of difficult to really cut out anything, as it does go it starts out really fast and then really kind of slows down a little bit to give you the backstory a little bit.
Right.
Could you have shortened that? Sure. But at the same time, it felt like it gave you enough depth about the backstory without like making it a major focus. So I wouldn't really cut anything out.
I kind of see.
The opening 6 minutes of the opening 8 minutes of the movie, because you literally are getting the narrative talk of who Porter exactly is. And then you actually get to see it in action in doing so. And you very much recognize that unless somebody is just as smart or recognizes or doesn't underestimate him, nobody's going to outsmart him.
Okay.
How about you, partner? Who's your that guy award?
Oh, Clueless Porter. Above all else, and I'll tell you this right now. You're that guy. So your takeaways, my takeaways are the exact same, except for the iconic scene. No, iconic scene is going to be the same thing, but I'm like...
There is a cut that out?
There's a cut that out.
All right.
Okay. So, Porter is... And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Porter, his character is what you would consider cool.
And yeah,
and
he is.
The way
He's
Gibson
cool.
plays him, smooth. He's definitely a writer for whatever he needs to get done. He's also really much a man of principle to be a thief.
Right, exactly.
So
honor among thieves. And all that. Right.
So for me, that's that guy for me most definitely. That chick is gonna be what's her name? Rosie. She came through in the clutch when she had to come through in the clutch.
And she was fine.
And she was good to look at because Deborah Kara Unger, do you do crack really?
What about Lucy Liu?
Lucy Liu is just...
she's just
cold.
Right. And not only that, but like in this movie, she's such a wild card in this movie that's like you don't really know how to feel about her.
But that was kind of like her cup for a little while because even
until
like
she got Charlie's Angel,
movies like Play It to the Bone,
right?
Like she was definitely the wild card in that,
right?
This Fool Award, Val Resnick. I hate your fucking face. Oh my god! Like remember we did Varsity Blues, and I said it's something about John Voight's face. I just don't trust you,
right?
And you're the serious of the two characters,
right? Exactly.
And anything John Voight does, but Val Resnick. The way he chews his gum bothers me. 'Cause I know guys who are pricks who literally chew their gums in the exact same way. Oh, God, it bothers me.
I think there's a special shout out to either the corrupt cops or Stegman.
Yes.
Because like Stegman's like one of those guys that's like, he wants to act like a big fish, but he has a little mouth. You know what I mean? Like he thinks he's that much better than he really is on the pecking order. You know what I mean? But
I'm with you all the way.
Cut that out. Okay, so what I was going to make mention of earlier was... Les Resnick.
I've been cut him out the movie completely. But I was going to say that the reference to the scene I liked earlier where he shoots the briefcase.
Right.
I would cut it out only because it's used for the trailer. So therefore, when it happens in a movie, it's not as effective.
Right.
But as a promotional tool, all right, cool, I'll take it. When now seeing it in, real time, I was like,
right.
Nah.
Sure, I could see that.
I mean, I get it's for humor. Can you call the movie a comedy?
It's kind of a dark comedy in some ways.
It has comedic moments for sure.
Definitely. I mean, but that's also noir. Like a lot of neo-noir movies has comedy moments in it. And it's just like, you're not really taking yourself that seriously. Gotcha. But yeah. And then iconic scene.
I'm gonna go with you. Gonna be that first opening 6 minutes. You 100% know who this character is to the point where I agree. You don't necessarily need a good background on him. Like we're here now. Let's go.
Right.
And the way Mel Gibson plays it, and Mel Gibson has this weird love-hate relationship with everybody, but the way he plays it, for this to be that character after Riggs, to let you know what direction he's gonna go the next 10 years of his career, he plays solid,
Right. And a lot of people like to shit on Mel Gibson, but it's like at this point in his career, like he had close to 20 years where he's already had to play two iconic characters, and not really like back to back, but it's like he wasn't really interested in being this guy that did like sports movies, like everybody kind of goes through at a certain point. No, he was kind of one of those guys that like he knew what he was good at. and he was very, very good at doing that. And he had movies later on that were actually very good also. Get the Gringo, considering it's a B movie, is still a really solid B movie.
I didn't mind Edge of Darkness either.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Edge of Darkness is one of those that Edge of Darkness is a little too serious for my eyes. But yeah, like Edge of Darkness is right up there as well. He's had moments, later on.
Conspiracy Theory.
Conspiracy Theory is a weird movie, but I also really Conspiracy Theory is one of those movies that watching it 20 years later, or 22 years later, I think it came out in 96 or 97.
Something like that, yeah.
You kind of can't help but laugh at his character sometimes because you see that nowadays.
Right.
But I have a lot of appreciation for Mel.
What Women Want as well. I'd put it in. Well, I'll put it in. Yeah, I'll put it in there. Well,
it's okay.
for the goofball shtick from Mel Gibson, that's all right. I give you that.
Right. Like his later career, don't get me wrong. You're always going to remember Martin Riggs and you're always going to remember Mad Max before any of these other characters, really. But there is something to kind of be said about, his later movies that you can't really before the incident, really.
Right.
Before the incident, you can't really
the incident.
That's what I'm going to call it. Because now everybody's just cool with him, doing whatever, which is something, obviously he got his in Braveheart, clearly, which is kind of his thing, but it's
he
weird.
Lost his life and his dick for those who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But let's get to some quick hits so we can wrap this puppy up. For release in Australia, the US tagline, "Get ready to root for the bad guy," was changed to "Get ready to cheer for the bad guy," because, as Mel Gibson himself pointed out, in Australia, to root is slang for to have sexual intercourse. So
very nice.
Get ready to fuck the bad guy.
That's right.
Okay. According to the director's commentary, James Coburn found the prop cigarettes his character was supposed to use unfit for smoking. So he went to Mel Gibson's trailer. Gibson wasn't there as he wasn't scheduled for shooting at that moment, and helped himself to a few of Gibson's cigars.
Ooh. You know what? The Patriot's really good with him as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thief. Yeah, the Patriot is pretty good, actually.
I really like the Patriot.
30% of the film was reshot when Brian Helgeland was replaced as director.
That must have been where that other $40 million.
Yeah, buddy.
So there was this discussion before you move on. Mm-hmm. There was this discussion that Jay and I had where Jay was like, this movie had a production budget of $90 million. I was like, $90 million in 1999. Right. Because this movie has kind of a lot of low budget shots in it, which is great because it works really well for neo-noir. So I could have swore it was 50, but if there's reshoots, then yeah, I could see that.
There you go. Deborah Kara Unger broke 2 ribs in the scene where Mel Gibson beats the hell out of her, which is now restored in the director's cut.
See, again, no.
She stated that she was having fun flying around and getting slammed into things and didn't want too many takes.
See, that's a problem with the director's cut right there. Like it was just, there's a lot of problems with the director's cut that I had. If somebody was to say to me 54% for a director's cut, I'd be like, you are going too high.
Let me see. The car Mel Gibson is driving in the beginning is a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner.
Yeah, it's nice.
Very nice. Mel Gibson and James Coburn also appeared in Maverick.
That's right. Yeah. Maverick was okay.
Maverick
was about 30 minutes too long.
You know what? Now I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen Maverick.
Really?
I don't think so.
The last 30 minutes is just like an extended epilogue. He wins the card game. Spoiler alert. This one came out in 94, so I'm sorry. But and then there's 30 minutes extra of just shit to just talk. And I'm like, could have ended it at the card game. Giving you another 10 minutes. Somehow you try to convince me that Jodie Foster is attracted to Mel Gibson. And vice versa.
Nah. I don't buy it. And finally, there was originally a scene where Porter rips out the eye of one of the guards in the office building, where his ex-partner Val is. For some reason, this scene was not included in either the theatrical cut or the director's cut of the movie, and is only available in a very rare, bad quality work print.
Don't even see it.
I mean, for it to be like one of those scenes, like, bruh.
Have you ever seen Under Siege? Like, you're good.
Yeah. I like 2 better, but.
You like 2 better than 1?
I think I do.
Really?
And it's so cheesy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think it's a fact of how he kills Tommy Lee Jones and 1 that just cracks me up because he fucks him up.
Oh, most definitely.
Like winds up driving a knife into his eye and then throwing him through a computer screen. I was like, isn't that a little excessive?
No, it's Steven Seagal.
Isn't that a little bit much?
Because I'm not a Steven Seagal fan. I don't even pretend to be. But there's times to when. Okay, here's my beef with Steven Seagal.
Here we go. We got Spike Lee beef. We got Steven
We're gonna
Seagal
wrap
beef.
this up real quick. Fuck him. He can't fight. He doesn't even fight. He slaps you around, but he doesn't fight. Jet Li fights. Jackie Chan fights. Wesley fights. Steven will slap you.
By the way, one of our super throwbacks this year has to be Bloodsport. It's a 30-year anniversary. Okay. Just so we could talk about the beautiful split kicks that he does in this movie that cracks me the fuck up. Because you can tell like at the end, because he's doing these split kicks against Bolo Yang and the crowd's all cheering. I'm like, these aren't even landing. Like he's not actually hitting them. Why are you cheering?
Yes, I'm down for that. I want to do a whole like Van Damme movie marathon.
Oh please,
like we're talking like double team.
Did you ever see JCVD?
No, I heard it's great though.
It's really good.
Oh my god,
it's so good.
Heard it's really good. All right, well that's the show. We're gonna go ahead and go home and watch some Jean-Claude Van Damme, and we'll be back next week. We have a guest on next week. We literally made it official about
minutes before the show.
Before we went on the show, but next week we will have a guest on the show. And as of next week, it's super throwback next week.
Yeah, it's super throwback. So we're gonna super throwback stuff to you.
Yeah, getting ready for Black History Month. So with that being said, don't forget to follow us. Wait, I'm going way ahead of myself. Yeah. Dave, where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm like, man, do you not want us to plug anymore? That's fine.
Do we not say bye?
Do we not say bye? You can always find me on all the latest social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at David Danger Neff. I am the co-host here for BTTC at Back to the Classics. I'm also the co-host at Reel It Back, which we're reeling stuff back. We're going to expand that. Soon, yeah, we're going to expand that a little bit soon, for sure. But it's a hell of a ride, and we have a good time here. My co-host Jay Alonso, where can they find you? You can find me on all the social media. Simply at I am Jay Alonso, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. You talk to me, I'll talk back. The Back to the Classics Movie Talk group on Facebook, which has Dave doing most of the posting, but Dwayne jumps in there a lot. We appreciate you, sir. I do a little posting here and there. I'm getting better. Right. I don't not like to talk. I just be busy. Right. But Back to the Classics Movie Talk group on Facebook is up and popping. Go ahead and jump in, join the conversation. And of course, BTTC podcast on Instagram. Please follow us. You get the announcement of the shows before they even come out. And of course, Instagram movie shit. So Instagram movie shit. That's probably about the best way I can describe Instagram movie shit. That's where you get. That's how we promote this show.
There it is. You like movie shit? There we go. But with that being said, don't forget to follow us. Jump on beatnetworkonline.com so you can get links to all your favorite Beat Network shows. Shout out to all those guys. We're in a new studio.
I know. I can't believe we finally made it here.
I mean,
this weekend was so interesting trying to get this taken care of.
It's a hell of a transition.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a hell of a transition, but we said we we're going to do it, and we're in here now, and it's glorious.
I love it.
It's just
I think it's beautiful.
Glorious. Yes. With that being said, we are done. We'll see y'all next week. I'm Jay Alonso. Of course, with me is my guy,
David Danger Neff.
And this is Back to the Classics. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.